Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Greatness in You podcast. Last time we talked about my past and where I'm coming from and the story of my beginning and how I didn't allow my beginning to stop me from becoming successful based on where I was birthed, based on where I'm from, based on my life experience. But I used this as a stepping stone to become great. Now, here's the key now. The question becomes, that's my story. Let's talk about your story. How can you become great? How can you find your purpose and your destiny, your potential? That you don't necessarily have the same past that I have. I've gone through the same experience, but still there resides in you greatness. And success is still within you. So the question becomes, how do you pull that out? Well, one of the things I want to say to you in order to access your greatness, you have to go back to dream again. I know this to be a truth across the board. I did this research, is that many of us when we're younger and children, we dreamed a lot about how great we could become. At that point, as a young boy, young girl, we used to dream a lot about becoming a president or a lawyer or a doctor. And you still have the dream in you. The only problem with us now, as time has passed and we've gotten a little older, we kind of bury our dream because life circumstances has come along and we kind of push that down. And we keep using this word, maybe later on, or if I have time, I'll go back to my dream. So we just learn to settle. And I'm here to say to you, one of the motivating factors that I used to encourage me, was I used the Bible as a source for me that motivated me. So many of the time you hear me quote scriptures, it's not because I'm trying to preach at you, it's just that that's where I found my strength come from. So the question becomes, if you don't have that source, where do you find your strength from? Well, let me encourage you, let you know you'll find your strength from finding your purpose, a reason for living. Your destiny, your dreams. You can find strength to find your greatness and your purpose in that. And because you're carrying potential means that which is lying just below the surface, you can tap into your potential and don't let any circumstance stop you. When someone tells you you can't, you tell yourself you can. When it says impossible, you say it's possible. So you can motivate yourself. This way your dream come out of. So I use the Bible as a reference point. That's why I quote scripture, because that motivated me, gave me the strength I needed when I needed it, and gave me a sense of purpose and destiny. But you may not have that in your background, your past. I did. I was brought up that way, and so I used that as a mean. And because of that, that's why I'm able to speak to you about your greatness, because I found my motivation, my strength in reading as to how we were made and what we were made. But you also still have success. So you have to find that motivating factor that gets you up out of bed in the morning time, whether reading successful books about people who succeeded. And basically the same principle we have in both sides, whether you're a believer or non-believer, is principles and laws. Principles and laws motivate you. If you want to be successful, read successful books, study successful people. If you want to be great, study great people and what they've done and how they did, because the principle and law remain the same. It has not changed. They practice certain repetitive pattern or behavior. They practice certain disciplines. They read and study and investigate how the successful person became successful. They interview them. They read. And so if you do the same, success is going to be the byproduct of what you're researching, because you have this inner desire to become great. And as you start to discover this greatness in you, it'll give you motivation. And out of your motivation will come self-discipline. Discipline is mandatory because in your discipline, it forces you and I to cut off people who are thwarting your dream, or killing your dream, or talking you out of your dream. The saddest part to say in this statement is one of the greatest dream killer in your life, sad part to say for many of us, is our family. Now, they're great people. You love them. They love you. But sometimes they'll tell you, you can't. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. And I'm here today to tell you, smart has nothing to do with it. It's your determination, your drive to become great and become successful. It's built into you. And once you tap into that, nothing or no one can stop you. You have greatness in you, and that greatness is your motivation, should be your drive to become greater. Because here's the key part. Your greatness is just not for you. Your greatness motivates you to make the world a better place. So it's bigger than our success. It's bigger than your motivation. You now takes it to a place where you're now becoming a solution or solving a problem that would make the world a greater place for everyone else. You're living not just for yourself, but for the generation following. And once you find your greatness, here's the key. You'll not be forgotten in history. Why? Because successful people, great people, do not need tombstone, because their legacy remain after they passed on. Because if you've accomplished that greatness, you'll be remembered by your words, remembered by the books you've written, remembered by the business you've created, and there'll always be a legacy of your greatness on the planet. You'll never be forgotten. Isn't that an amazing thing? This is what we all strive for, is a sense of purpose, a sense of value, a sense that we want to do something great that will not be forgotten. And so that's the motivation behind why you have greatness in you. The world is waiting for your success. There are people waiting in line, by the way, that's waiting as you discover your purpose, that you also motivate them to become great as well. So you become an influencer in their lives. There is greatness in you. Go after that dream. Don't let time, effort, distance does not cancel your dream or your purpose. Go after it today. There is greatness in you. Thank you for listening to the Greatness in You podcast. All episodes are available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. If you like the podcast, please rate and review on iTunes, as this is the best way to help spread the word about this podcast. Also, if you'd like to support this podcast, don't forget to visit the Greatness in You Patreon page, where members will have access to exclusive content and other words of encouragement. And if you're interested in finding out more about your purpose and potential, check out my book, The Greatness in You, which is available at Barnes & Noble's, BAM Bookstore, and on Amazon, as well as many other places. Until next time, remember, there is greatness in you.